Want to take your lawn from worst to first, a mess to the best, or mild to wild? Well, follow along and you can learn how to take your lawn from this to this. There are a lot of reasons why you might consider renovating your lawn, but oftentimes we end up with a weedy mess due to a lack of proper maintenance. If you're at the point where you want to take your weed patch and turn it into your ideal lawn, I can help you. But keep in mind that in the coming years, a handful of annual maintenance tasks such as fertilizing and basic weed control are needed to keep your new lawn looking great for a long time to come. The first thing you need to do is assess how bad your lawn is and determine if you want to start over again, or if there's a decent amount of desired grass on the lawn, you may just need to consider overseeding. If this is where you're at, check out our video on overseeding a lawn. The next thing to think about is the time of year. Typically, most people start thinking about their lawns and doing something about them as the lawn starts to grow in the spring. If you live in the northern US or in Canada, spring is probably the best time for you to renovate your lawn. Likewise, if you live in the southern US and are growing a warm season grass, late spring is the best time to plant. However, if you are looking to renovate a lawn with a cool season grass across pretty much the rest of the country, early fall is actually the best time to plant. Does this mean you can't plant in the spring? No, it just means it'll be a little harder to grow the grass in when planting in the spring. With a spring planting, you'll need to commit to watering the seedlings as you get into the hottest part of the summer or risk losing the new grass. This is not an issue with fall plantings. If you're committed to a spring planting, try to seed as early in the spring as possible. This will give you the longest possible time for the seedlings to begin to mature before summer and should give your seedlings a little time before crabgrass starts to germinate. Soil temperatures should be above 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which typically means air temperatures will have had to be in the 60s and 70s for several weeks to warm soil temperatures. Something else to consider for determining timing of a spring seeding is watching for Forsythia to bloom. As Forsythia starts to bloom, soil temperatures are just about right for germination of cool season grasses. Once you've determined that your lawn is in bad enough shape to totally renovate it, but before you get too far along, you should consider getting your soil tested. When renovating a lawn, it's a great time to get the soil tested and make any changes that are necessary without the fear of burning the grass. Contact your local county extension agent for more information on soil testing. While you're waiting on the soil test results, you can go ahead and get rid of what is currently there. The easiest way to accomplish this is by spraying everything out with a non-selective herbicide like glyphosate. One application will kill pretty much everything that is green, but hard to control weeds like Bermuda grass may need repeat applications to make sure they are dead. Once everything is sufficiently brown, set your mower as low as it will go and remove all the dead vegetation. If you have a bag for your mower, this is a good time to use it. If you don't, remove all the cut vegetation with a rake. The next step is to set a dethatcher as deep as it will go and start running over the dead lawn. You'll at minimum need to go over the lawn twice with the dethatcher and possibly more times if the old vegetation is not sufficiently removed. You also want to loosen up soil as this allows for more seed to soil contact when planting. This step should create a decent amount of debris that needs to be removed with a rake prior to planting. Next, you're ready to weigh seed and plant. Pay close attention when you purchase seed. Look for grass species that are adapted to your area and specifically look for new cultivars that have improved drought and pest tolerance. Cheap seed often contains old and unimproved grasses and may be high in weed seed. Do your homework. After you've chosen a seed mix, determine the area of your lawn either with a measuring tape, a measuring wheel, or a GPS app on your phone. I use GPS Field's Area Measure on my Android phone, but any GPS app will work for this. The seed rate I'm using for the mix that I have is 6 pounds of seed per 1,000 square feet. The GPS app measured the total area that I'll be seeding as 2,622 square feet, which is exactly 2.622 times larger than 1,000 square feet. To figure out how much seed I'll need for the entire area, all I have to do is multiply 6 pounds of seed by 2.622, which equals 15.73, or about 16 pounds of seed needed to cover the area. Depending on the size of your spreader, you may need to cut the amount of seed in half or fourths to make it all fit. You'll then want to walk with the spreader at a comfortable pace and make sure that you spread the seed in at least 2 directions to make sure there are no skips. Once the seed is down, run a spring tine rake through the seed and soil with the tines pointing up to lightly mix the seed in with the soil. Knowing that crabgrass will soon be on the way when planting in the spring, I like to put out a pre-emergent herbicide to reduce the weed pressure on the lawn and give the grass seedlings as much of a head start as possible before weeds start to come in. The key to using a pre-emergent herbicide at planting is that there are only two that won't kill the grass seedlings. These are Siduron or Mesotrione. I am using a granular formulation of Mesotrione for this renovation. As it is a pesticide, be sure to wear your proper protective equipment when handling and applying. The final, but arguably the most important step is to keep the soil continuously moist until the grass begins to germinate and looks like a green fuzz over the surface. Once the grass is at this stage, you can start to back off on the amount of water being applied to the lawn. Once you begin mowing the lawn, you can start watering it as normal unless the spring and early summer are hot and dry, in which case it may be wise to continue on a watering schedule. You'll also want to irrigate during the hottest point of the summer to be sure that the immature seedlings make it through to fall. And that's about it. You don't have to be a lawn care professional to have a nice looking lawn. There are, however, some steps that are non-negotiable, such as removing the old vegetation, creating loose soil, choosing good quality seed, and keeping the seed moist after planting. Be the envy of your block and give it a shot.